just wanted to share another random story about traveling. Okay, so here's the thing. I know when you're traveling, you're running around, you have 5 million things on your mind. You're thinking to yourself, oh God, did I cut the stove off? You're thinking of so many things. So for me, it's kind of important to like focus on those things, because what ends up happening is that I get paranoid at some point. Even if I know I didn't leave anything, that I have everything, I could be holding it in my hand, and yet somehow it amazes me whenever I find people who are traveling with me have the time to be very concerned about other people. And I wanted to talk about this one time when I was actually heading out to the West Coast, and I was going out to Washington State. So I decided, because I was being cheap, I was like, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to save money. I'm going to get a 3-day trip on a train. So, no, I did not book the room. It was literally me with a hand wash inside the Amtrak bathroom, like, oh, this is the best I can do. So, while I was on the train, what I love the most about riding on the train is the scenery. I love looking at the scenery. I absolutely love it, because it's like visiting a state, but not really. It's almost like you're getting like a premonition of how the state could actually look like as you drive through. And that's what I love the most about it. However, for some reason, there are these people who were on the train, and every state that I woke up in was like a different set of kind of people. And I presume people who look like me weren't very common. So what ended up happening was that, let's say, like, I forgot what state I was in. I probably wasn't even paying attention. I was just too busy like looking out the window. But I had heard some individuals actually on the train talking about me. So like I'm sitting there like, that's a pretty tree. Oh, I should take a picture of that. Click, click. And then I hear, hey, you see that girl over there? And I'm thinking to myself like, they're not talking about me. No way. Oh, it's another picture. Click, click. So as they continue, they're discussing, and they describe what seat I'm in, what clothes I'm wearing. Yeah, she's the one over there with the red suitcase. And I'm at this point now, it's just kind of like, well, gee, if you talk any louder, would you like me to join the conversation, huh? And they're like, well, what is she? And that's what I heard. And I was staring out the window going, that's rude. I think I'm human. And so they were staring, they were discussing it like as if it was something very serious, as if they were somehow so confused. I mean, it might have been possible that maybe my skin looked a little green that day, but who knows? But the point is, they were so baffled and not worrying about anything else except the fact of what they were trying to figure out what I was. So I'm trying to like mind my business, and then at one point, one of the people, one of the batch of the family is like, I'm gonna walk over there and figure it out, because I know people, I know them, and now I knew that this was just gonna get awkward. So I proceeded to open up my phone and start talking to my friend in Japanese, but I'm not speaking. This is all reading and writing. So like my screen's all bright, and I'm like, konnichiwa. And you know, I'm just going back and forth, and then like what they do to pass by me is sort of pull like one of these kind of numbers, and they're like, I'm getting on to the next car. What language is that? You know, and they kind of just keep walking, and then they come back like, oh, I went in the wrong direction. I'm like, wow, you people are really bad at being stealthy. Like, yeah, you're not suspicious at all. So, they keep doing this, and every time they pass by me, I would change the language setting on my phone. I had to, because now at this point now I just have that fun. So after I was done with talking to my Japanese friend, I switched over and spoke to some of my Chinese friends, and it was just all in Chinese. And then I switched over into Spanish at some point just to practice my Spanish with my friend. I was like, yeah, como esta? You know, like I was just having a field day. So hours go by, some states, some miles, yeah, that kind of thing, travel stuff. So at some point, finally my phone rings. Right? So this has been going back and forth now for a while, and they're just staring at me. And no offense, white people, but it's very weird when you guys stare at us if you can't racially identify us. If it makes you feel better, I'm partially what you are. I just came out darker. Come on, someone laugh. What ends up happening is I see them coming towards me and they're still playing the same game because I couldn't go to sleep. Like I would wake up and I would still find them like, oh, it's awake, you know, and I'm just sitting there like, are you serious? Like you have nothing else better to do than to sit there and stare at a complete stranger on a train to figure out what ethnicity I am. And I'm like, I'm colored in, just pick a country. I get mistaken for a lot of things, so just pick one. It doesn't matter. So what ends up happening, right, is they're sitting there discussing it. Well, I think it's this, and they're just picking random stuff, and I'm sitting there like, okay, now I gotta have fun, right? So now this is what they see of me, right? Hello. So now I'm on the phone, and then I couldn't help myself, right? I'm sitting there on the phone and I'm talking as if I'm from London, and I couldn't help myself, and I was like, yeah, I'm just watching a bit on the telly. How you doing? And I just started talking to them a little bit, and I said, yeah, how you doing? I'm on the train. Yeah, I'm on my way to Seattle. You know, I started cutting my T's a little bit, how I pronounce certain things, and depending on what what I'm watching on the telly, I'll decide, oh, you know what? That sounds like a really good. That sounds real good. And what ends up happening is that in my head, I pick up accents like it's nothing. It's creepy. Like if I watch Japanese television, I guarantee you when I speak in English, I will have a Japanese accent. I have Korean. I don't speak a word of Korean. Except for Yambo, like I know how to call my honey if I had one. I don't speak a word of Korean, but I guarantee you I will have a Korean accent as soon as I am done with that phone. I cannot help myself. Watching Spanish, have an accent. Watching a bit of British television, yeah. So, or I'll switch to Canadian every now and then, and I'm like, sorry. And the thing about it is they're sitting there and they're like, she's from the UK. And the whole time that I'm on the phone, I'm trying so hard not to laugh because now I'm watching every British thing I could find on my phone so I could hold the accent, right? And I'm like, this ought to be fun. And like, yeah, but I saw her writing something in Asian. No, she was writing in Spanish. At some point, no one figured out maybe she's just toying with us and perhaps maybe she heard us. But I spent the rest of my ride just messing with them because then at some point when I called my friend, I was talking to him in Spanish and they're staring at me like, I don't know what that thing is over there. Like she's a little too multilingual, and I'm like, I'm not. I'm just really good at saying certain things and I can sound like I'm a native, but now you're just confused. So, but yeah, that was one of my random weird travel moments when I was on the jet. That was like a couple of years ago. But see, I'm the kind of person who decides if it's that important to you to racially identify who I am, now I have the urge to play with your emotions. I can't help it. It's like a necessity for me, and it's like it needs to be done. So if I hear someone thinks I'm like such and such or whatever, and depending on how they're reacting to me, I go along with it. The only thing that I don't like is when I'm being mistaken for something, for whatever ethnicity it is, and then they decide, you know what, I have the right to treat you badly because I feel you are such and such race. You know, especially because those are the individuals when they find out, oh, you're not? Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I was such a jerk to you. It's okay. I'm sorry. I won't do it again because now, obviously, your race has been approved. So, but yeah, I just want to talk about that weird incident that happened on the train. But, you know, if you ever see me on the train, I hear you mistaking me or trying to play the guessing game or whatever, yeah, guarantee you, I will change something about me. I will have some sort of accent. I will figure out a way to do it. You know what I mean? I'll sit there and I'll start talking to you a little bit. Maybe I'll put a little bit of English. Maybe I'll even mix a bit of the British accent with a bit of Brooklyn just to toy with your emotions. But yeah, that's just a random travel story. I want you to tell me about your travel stories. Like, what's the weirdest thing that you've seen someone do instead of focusing on traveling, like where their destination is, or maybe if they left the stove on. You know, anything that's actually important opposed to actually just bothering another human being that you don't know. But share with me in the comments. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. I hope you guys did enjoy that video. Please feel free to tell me what you thought of it, because I get a lot of random complete strangers, and I wish that I had a camera with me at all times to record these random moments where someone decides to walk up to me and be like, what is that thing? And it's so common enough that I even question if I'm even from this planet. Like that's how frequent it is for me. But yeah, tell me about something wacky that's happened to you whenever you were traveling and you decided, maybe have a little fun with it. You never know, see some things out there in the telly. But that was my poor version of it. But if you actually do watch my videos, you'll realize almost in every single video I have a different accent every single time, and that'll give you a hint to what kind of television I'm watching at the moment. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe, share your stories with me, and share my videos. I want to know because I want the family who is trying to figure out what I was, I want them to come across this video, so be sure to share it. Thank you. Leave some comments. Whoop whoop.